Thank you for clicking on the video. I'm Cal Cope. Won't you like and subscribe and enjoy the video? Well, welcome again to How Love Can Last Forever. After all, I'm your host, Cal Cope. So glad you can be here. And here we are with the third episode of this series where we are talking about this frequency illusion and how do you begin to see the healthy patterns. Now, I want to forewarn you that it's going to take a minute. And when I say a minute, I mean an hour. I mean a week. I mean a month. I mean years. There just no getting around it. You know, if you are 15 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, then that means you've got 15, 20, 30 years of seeing life a certain way. And so as you are being revealed this new thing, you've got to understand that it is going to initially be unfamiliar. And the reality is, most people do not like change, even when the change is good. Most people would rather do what is familiar, myself included. But there comes a time when you get tired of being tired. And so in my coaching business, oftentimes people have come to me because they're tired of being tired. They're tired of having the same cycles. And what happens is many people feel like they've got a bad picker, or they keep attracting the wrong people. And they don't know why. Let's see if I can put it this way in a more tangible way. I've got cars, and I am by no means a mechanic at all. But when my car isn't working right, I know it. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't pick up right. I can tell when something is wrong. And that's the same thing that happens in our relationships. We can tell something is wrong, but we don't know how to fix it. We don't even know where to begin to look. And so part of what's happening now is as you are being revealed this understanding of what a safe and healthy place is, you'll start to notice the areas that aren't working well, but they have been familiar for you. It has been how you have operated. It has been how the people who you are in your life space, that's how they operate. And so it can feel very strange that this thing, which is oftentimes the only thing you've ever known relative to how to interact in a relationship, even though you begin to identify it's wrong, it is so familiar, it's comfortable. So once again, I want you to understand that this is a long process. I actually am working with 4 different organizations, and it's a 2-year process to really begin to digest just the understanding of moving into healthy places of relationship. Because then we're going to spend a lifetime perfecting that, a lifetime practicing getting healthier and healthier. It's like for those of us who exercise or want to stay healthy, you got to always keep going to the gym. I've got some good friends, 80 years old, and he has a trainer coming to pick him up at 6 o'clock in the morning. When he first told me that, I considered whether or not we'd still be friends. We are, because he made me feel bad because I'm just rolling over at 6 o'clock in the morning most days. But it is this understanding of, once again, forever love is not a fantasy. It is something that is formed, and it is something that we're going to form for the rest of our lives. But like people who go to the gym, like people who work out, and you become accustomed to what it feels like when you have exercised, you become accustomed to what it feels like when you are building your strength, you look forward to that. And so once again, I just want to emphasize to you that while we are talking about these new disciplines, these new skill sets, it's going to take a while for your nervous system to catch up, to begin to walk away from what's familiar to you to something that, quite frankly, is unfamiliar to you. And that point in time, that period of time that you're in this unfamiliar place, I want to encourage you that unfamiliar place will begin to transition into a very safe place. And when you think about relationships, isn't that where we all want to be? Don't we all want a place that will love us like we are and love us enough to want us to get better? But once again, I can't help somebody get better who doesn't want to get better. So let's put this disclaimer out. If you don't want to get better, you probably want to go find something else to watch right now. But if you do, this is the place you want to be. One of the things that's getting ready to happen is I'm getting ready to have cohorts of couples, cohorts of singles by gender, to begin to help have the dialogue and the discussion around removing what is familiar to us now, but we are now identifying as not healthy, to the thing that will be unfamiliar to us now, and we will have some level of resistance because it's just something different. It's change. But I am finding that I don't want to catch you when you're on the back hillside. Let's get you when you're in a relatively good place. And let's begin to reframe our understandings from a good place so that we can show up better in relationships and that we can see relationships progress much, much more effectively. So once again, we're talking about recalibrating your vision. You've got to identify the glasses that you are seeing the world in, and identify what about these glasses are in proper focus, and when do I need to get a new prescription. And so you've got to understand, like most of us, like all of us, every year we go get an eye examination. And for me, unfortunately, or fortunately, every year there's usually some slight adjustment, enhancement to my prescription. So I want you to understand that we are definitely here to expose the illusions that the familiar places that we are the places we're supposed to stay. Because the reality is, many of the places that relationship, love, commitment has been introduced to us are not the healthiest places. And so, like I shared in the last episode, I haven't met a person yet who doesn't have some level of dysfunction in their life, in their family. And so it's important for us to understand how necessary it is for us to identify the places that we thought were normal simply because it was what was first introduced to us, and to begin to identify there is better out there. There absolutely is better out there. And once again, if you want to have a forever love, if you want to have a place that is safe for you, you can't wish that into your existence. You can't dream it into your existence. You can't pray it into your existence. There is an active role that you have to play for you to get the kind of relationship that you're looking for. Once you identify how you show up, now you begin to identify how do the people show up for you, and how do you work together to create the safe place for both of you. So you want to expose the illusions. You want very much so for these illusions of what we have grown up in our systems to be dismantled with the healthy understandings that will bring us the kind of relationships that we're looking for. Once again, I purposely keep these episodes pretty concise because I think they're pretty weighty. And I want you to take some time to digest and think about it. I actually recommended that you watch it a few times so that you begin to process it as you think about where you are struggling in relationship or where there are places that you feel lonely because you don't have relationships. Begin to look at the people that may irritate you and begin to ask why. Begin to ask yourself, why are there certain people that I just feel good when I'm around, that I just enjoy being around? It's so important that you start to ask yourself those questions because it's going to help you get better. And you've got to get to this place where you like getting better. And understand that that is a place that you'll be in for the rest of your life, getting better. Because there's one of two options. You're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. From a health standpoint, I'm either getting better or I'm going to get worse. Same thing holds true in relationships. But once again, I want to emphasize to you that this love that you're looking for, and you want to know how it can last forever, I need you to understand that it's not a fantasy. I need you to understand that you can have your after all, but you've got to embrace this understanding that forever love is not a fantasy, and forever love is formed. Thank you for clicking on the video. I'm Cal Cope. Won't you like and subscribe and enjoy the video?